Welcome back to Phoenix Forge. My name's Will Holland, and today I thought I'd have a little bit of a chat with you guys about some of the blacksmith magazines that are out there, because they're really beneficial. They're a great source of inspiration, and they're really useful tools as well. Probably one of the best things you can do if you want to get into blacksmithing is to sign up to Artist Blacksmiths Magazine. So the UK group of blacksmiths, which are the British Artist Blacksmiths Association, they were set up in the 1970s by a group of professional smiths that wanted to help preserve the craft. And one of the best ways they've done of doing that is to share their knowledge, share their experience, and inspire new blacksmiths and some of you guys, I'm sure, and show them, you know, what's possible, what little tips they've got in their workshop that can be a massive help to some of you, and also to run different events, things like forgings that are held in some of the biggest blacksmiths workshops around the country and globally. You know, you've got big things like Steer in Italy, there's ones happening in Canada, in the States, out in Australia, all over the world, and you know, these guys are a brilliant resource. So if you're not a member of BARBA, sign up. Here we're into helping out other blacksmiths, other young people and older people get into the craft, get involved and help spread those skills. That's what we're interested in, that's our message, that's what we're trying to do. But these are a brilliant resource. You know, we all struggle with writer's block. It's not really writer's block, designer's block in the blacksmiths world. You know, you're trying to come up with new ideas for a gate, you know, a new way of doing something. And we tend to stick with what we know. But you know, you'll be scanning through the pages, looking at some of the great work by some of the other artist blacksmiths out there and going, that's a really good idea. I really love the way he did that gate hinge. I find that way that he put this, I don't know, whatever it is, finial together. You know, the construction of that is genius. And there are lots of tips and tricks inside some of these magazines. So I may get in a little bit of trouble showing you the inside of these magazines, but you know, if you sign up and become a member, you can see all these old issues anyway. But here's an absolutely brilliant example by Chris Top, and he explains, you know, the tooling that he's used and set up to create this gate, which is, you know, one of his one-of-a-kind pieces of artwork. It's an absolutely brilliant design, and he's created this tooling for his hydraulic press. You know, and he's gone into all the depth. He's shown you the surface finish, he's shown you the tooling that he's used, he's shown us the design that he's set up. Yeah, and he goes through all the way through showing little tips and tricks of how he's gone to rivet it up, his gate journal details, and then, you know, a little shot of the actual finished gate as well. There's some brilliant projects throughout these magazines. I've always found BARBA to be a great community. There's a lot of professionals out there. You've also got the Facebook pages as well, where people go on there to show their work, as well as, you know, explaining, you know, how do I do this? How do I get that finish on my project? You know, and there's thousands of professional smiths out there that are willing to go, well, you know, if I'm going to do that, I'll do it with Renaissance wax, or, you know, I'll maybe give it a coat of Galv and then T-wash it. So these resources are out there, and BARBA is about sharing those skills and sharing that information with a wider community to sort of further our group knowledge for everybody. You've also got brilliant projects like this one, which was in Ypres. This was 4 years ago, 5 technically now, I guess. They did a commemorative war memorial to commemorate the 100 years since the First World War. And there was a huge poppy memorial put up in Ypres. As well as thousands of individual forged poppies that were made and then sent and constructed out in Belgium. These sort of projects are, you know, a big feature of BARBA. I'm sure they happen in the States as well, and they're a brilliant way of getting together as a wider community and, you know, displaying our skills and our craft and what it's all about to the wider public. You really do need to get involved with these guys. As I said, out in the States, we've got Abana. I haven't subscribed to these, are a little bit out of date, the ones from the States, because I haven't been as involved with these guys. But again, you know, they've got brilliant magazines showing fantastic pictures of previous projects, different ways of making tooling, different sculptural galleries of some of the professional smiths sharing some of their, you know, finer details and great examples of their work. We all suffer a little bit with sort of imposter syndrome and not thinking that our work's good enough to share with the wider community, especially when you see some of, like, you know, the top blacksmiths sharing some of their work. But it's nice sometimes to sort of show that journey. And I recently wrote an article that was in the last issue of BARBA magazine, you know, sharing my experience and my journey through blacksmithing with, you know, with everyone else, which was, you know, nice to share that and get some of my pictures in the magazine as well. But you know, there's some great examples. Another brilliant thing about these magazines is the resources in the back. You know, you've got guys selling gas forges, guys building and selling power hammers, and the different tools and things like that, as well as stuff like where to buy rivets from, where to buy, you know, anvils from, finials, all sorts of stuff, bronzes, materials are accessible to everybody. You know, the magazines aren't that expensive. It may be more expensive than blooming your TV mag from the supermarket, but in general, you know, for what you're getting out of these, they're well worth the expense. And you can order back copies of most of these. I've just recently published a digital version of all of the old editions, so you can go on there and get all the way from issue number 1 all the way up to issue number 160, which is the latest one that just landed on my doorstep last week. And they're a brilliant resource. As I say, if you haven't signed up, go online to one of their websites. As I say, I'm not getting paid for this, but it will really help you out. If you're interested in smithing, if you're interested in getting involved, going along to some of the forgings, some of the events, then sign up and, you know, get involved in what's happening. There's also a newsletter which goes out digitally every month, where people, if they're selling their tools or they're holding events, you know, that information is out there. It's shared, you know, via email and goes out there. But you won't be getting that information through Facebook or through YouTube. You know, this is sort of reserved for the membership. So sign up, get involved, come along to a forging in 2021 when the pandemic's gone, and, you know, help share your skills and your experiences with the wider smithing community. So I hope you guys have found this informative. Please click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time in Phoenix Forge. I forgot to say, there's a link to the sign up page in the description below, so follow that link, sign up, and become a member of Barbar. If you produce a magazine in your home country, whether it's Australia, Canada, America, wherever, New Zealand perhaps, and you're a member of one of these other artist blacksmith associations around the globe, and got a magazine, send us a copy. We'd love to see it. We'd love to have a read and see what you guys have been up to as well. So yeah, send it along. We'd love to see it.